Welcome to the Realtor Who Wines podcast. I'm Rashelle Newmyer, your hostess with the mostest, a student of life, a connector, a passionate wine enthusiast, and your local favorite guide. Join me as we explore the vibrant Pacific Northwest, savor the finest wines, and champion the spirit of entrepreneurship. Each episode, I'll sit down with inspiring guests, supporting business ownership, and uncovering the stories that make this community unique. So grab a glass of wine, settle in, and let's embark on a journey of discovery and connection together. Cheers! Hi everyone, welcome back to the Realtor Who Wines. I'm Rashelle, your Realtor Who Wines. Today we are in a beautiful vineyard, a beautiful venue on a vineyard, and I cannot wait for you to see it. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're listening, you'll definitely have to go over to YouTube to see it because it is absolutely gorgeous. But I am here with Emily, one of the owners of this winery and vineyard. Thank you so much for having us.
Thanks
Cheers
for having
to
me.
you. Oh gosh, that's so good. Whew, that's really good. Emily, do you mind introducing yourself to everybody and talking a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, my name is Emily Jensen. This is my parents' place, John and Leslie Owens, and I'm the Director of Marketing and Sales here at Balsall Creek. We are pretty new. We only opened our tasting room in April of 2024, but we're really excited to be in wine country. We have a lot of special varieties to offer, and thanks so much for having me today.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk a little bit about how your family decided to take this journey and then also how it's been going so far. Because a lot of people dream like, oh, I would love to have a winery someday or to make wine, but it just is such a big undertaking. And so I'd love to hear a little bit about the decision to do it and then some of the steps that you guys had to take to get where we are today.
Sure. Okay, so the journey kind of starts a little over 30 years ago.
Okay.
My dad worked for ESCO, which is like a steel manufacturing company headquartered in Portland, his entire career, and it moved us to the UK when I was a little child. And we had an au pair come and live with us because we didn't have any support system in the UK.
Oh, for sure.
And she was from France, and her family had owned and operated a vineyard for over 100 years. And so that really got my parents into wine. But with my dad's job, there was just never time to really pursue that dream. Maybe 15 longer than that years ago, he looked at buying a vineyard, but there was no chance.
Yeah.
So the pandemic hit in 2020, as we all know.
Tell me about that. I'm just kidding.
And it kind of ended his job a little bit early. You know, he had always been a big career man. I thought he would work until he was very, very old.
Sure, yeah.
And he was able to stop working sooner, and early retirement suited him well. And about a month later, he was like, okay, it's time. We got to look for a vineyard.
Yeah.
It's time.
Because he is going to work
Forever. Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
He's just got a good work ethic, for sure.
Yeah. And so I was a realtor at the time. I was a realtor for like 10 years. And I hadn't done a lot of agricultural property sales before.
Sure.
But I was the realtor that found us this property and went through the whole process of learning about
Oh my gosh.
vines and ag and septics and all the things.
Yeah. Well, and for anyone that's listening, like, agriculture purchasing is totally different than residential.
Totally.
There's totally different forms, things that you should know, testing that you should do. So if you're ever thinking about buying land, make sure your agent does know that process or has a partner that they can partner with on that process because it's really different.
Yeah, and you don't know what you're missing until it's missed, right?
Oh, yeah.
So
For sure. That's how most things go, definitely. So you guys bought the land. And then what was the next step for that?
Yeah, so we bought, the vineyard was mostly planted. This is a 35-acre property, and about 15 acres were planted when we purchased it in 2021.
What variety was that?
Okay, so there's 6 varietals on the property. Aligote, which is what you're drinking, and we'll talk about.
Yes, so good.
Sauvignon Blanc, Chardonnay, and then those are our whites. And then the reds are Gamay Noir, Pinot Noir, of course, and Pinot Meunier.
Okay.
And from those 6 varietals, we make 8 completely different types of wine. So for example, most of the Willamette Valley, you're going to get a rosé of Pinot Noir, which delicious, of course. We all love rosé of Pinot Noir. But we chose not to do that at all. And all of our rosé is actually from Gamay Noir, which I don't know if you can see, but like it's kind of a different color. It's really bold and orangey, and it's really delicious. I'd pour you some too, if you wanted it.
Yes, please. I will never say no.
The other really fun thing that you're not going to find tons of other places is with Pinot Meunier, Pinot Noir, and Chardonnay. That's like your traditional champagne recipe. So that's what we make our sparkling wine out of. We only have one vintage so far because it takes 3 years to be bottled. So we just launched this one last fall, and we'll have another one this fall. But
very cool. And so nothing was here except the grapes, right? When you bought this property? Or was there something else here?
There was a little house. There's been a little house on the property for, I don't know, over 25 years probably. But the tasting room was not here.
Right.
So, yes, we learned how to build, too.
Yeah. So what was that like? Like, did you guys already know a builder from, like, your previous life as a realtor? Or, like, how did you decide who to work with? Things like that.
Yeah. Well, that was a process. We hired an architect first. My parents totally had a vision of what they wanted the building to look like and offer. This is a really special space. So we're sitting in our main tasting room. You have views east and south into the valley. Yeah, it's really lovely. We're up on top of the vines of our property, and we also sit up on top of Calkins Lane, so you can see Vineyards all the way down the hill. You can see the Chehalem Mountains out one side, the Dundee Hills out the other side. It's really pretty to be up here.
Yeah.
And so that was the goal of the main tasting room, right? Views, open windows, lots of doors onto the patio.
Natural light, tons of natural light.
And then off of this room, we have a lounge. So we call it our 1850 lounge because our family's been here since 1850. Longer than Oregon's been a state.
You guys are Oregon.
Yes. And the lounge is like much cozier. It doesn't have vaulted ceilings. It's got an indoor-outdoor fireplace. So there's that room, and then we have a full commercial kitchen, which was really important to my mom particularly because she just loves having events. She's worked with lots of caterers, and you never have quite all the right things. So she was like, we're gonna have the kitchen built right. And the kitchen is mostly behind a wall, but it's partially open into like a 14-person table dining room.
Oh, cool.
So there's this huge island. The stove is in there. So we've actually had like chef dinners in there where they can kind of put on a presentation and talk about and serve the food while they're preparing it, which is pretty special. And then we have like 2,500 square feet of patio. So lots and lots of space to be outside.
Amazing. Definitely. And how long did it take from breaking ground to finish?
Not as long as I would have thought for this size of a building. So we hired our architect. They gave them the idea. We worked on that, and then we hired a builder. We worked with Schomer & Sons, which is a longtime Oregon family, and they've been in construction. I think Paul, now the owner, is the third generation of the family who builds, and they do commercial scale building. They've been in wine country for a long time too. And so then we had to scale back our goals a little bit because it turns out all the things you want to do with the tasting room is maybe a little more expensive than you want it to be.
Yeah, that's how it always goes.
I know, right? Everything in life.
Yeah. What can we take off this list without compromising everything?
Right. Once we agreed on exactly what would be built and submitted the plans and everything, we broke ground in June 2023, and we did our final walkthrough in March of 2024.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so, it was a pretty good
quick
process.
That's awesome. And so now that you've been open for about a year, how's that been going?
It's good. We can always have more people coming in.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But it's been really fun. I think we took a lot of time and effort to make the space and what we had to offer something that would bring people back. So while we did still do a lot of work to get the word out and try to draw people in, we cared more about, the people that do come in. How do we make sure they want to come back and stay kind of more loyal to the brand than just an everyday walk in, want to have a glass of wine. So it's picked up. Good. Over the, I don't know. Let's see, we opened in April, and felt like summer would be like so busy, and it wasn't. But once fall hit, and even through the winter and now this summer, business has been good.
Oh, good. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Well, because it's so pretty when you're out in wine country during the fall. And I think a lot of people think like, oh, you only go wine tasting during the summer. But like in Oregon, the views are even breathtaking during the fall because they're all the different colors. And then all the surrounding trees in the area too are the different colors. Plus you still have the evergreens that are green. So you have like these bright oranges and greens.
It's so pretty.
Yeah. So
and the grass is finally green again.
Oh yeah. There's that. But like, and with your view, I'm sure you'll see like a whole array of colors. Yes. So definitely check them out during the summer and the fall because you'll see two totally different views for sure.
Yeah.
What is something that you and your family have learned from start to finish so far? Like that kind of took you by surprise, or you're like, oh, I never even thought that would be a thing.
Probably a little bit of all of it.
Yeah,
right?
For
Like
sure.
all of it was new. We hadn't been in the wine industry before. We hadn't been in farming before. So I think just kind of the full circle process, less about the building. You know, we had done lots of house buying and selling. We had done remodeling. So that was less
foreign.
Totally less foreign. That's a good way to describe it. But the whole farming through harvest, through winemaking was there's so much. And I think for me, like, I love sparkling wine. So my like one thing that I never would have known is like you have to hire a completely different process to make sparkling wine. Like the rest of our wine gets made in one place with the same people, but sparkling has to be outsourced. And there's like only one company in Oregon that does that. So unless you have it in-house, which hopefully someday we will, but not yet.
It's on the wish list.
Right. So that was a totally different learning process.
Oh, for sure. How did you go about finding the right partners and like hiring the right people to help guide you with the farming and the winemaking?
What was really important to us when we were trying to find partners was someone or, you know, companies that would teach us the process so that someday we could take that over and feel educated and very confident in making all of those decisions. But Northwest Wine is amazing. They have a team that does the farming side of it, a team that does the harvesting side of it, and then some really, really, really top-notch winemakers as well. So Laurent Montilla, who owns his own brands and has been a winemaker for many, many, many years, is our current winemaker, and then a team under him that we've gotten to know really well as well.
And is the wine made here on property, or is it made off at a different location?
It's all made at Northwest Wine. Okay. Yeah.
So does he ever come here though and like act with the guest, or I'm sure maybe sometimes at a wine club pickup or something you might get to meet him?
Totally, yeah. Him and Ann Sari, who is kind of one of our main winemakers there as well. She comes a lot actually. She's great.
Really? That's awesome. And then I mentioned wine club because I assume you have a wine club.
Of course.
Yes. Talk about the wine club a little bit. What do people get when they are wine
fun.
Club members? Yeah.
So most everywhere you go, you're going to have a wine club option, 2 or 3 kind of tiers, and each of those tiers get different amounts of wine at probably 3 times a year. And we have that. So we have our wine club, which is 1, 2, 3 tiers, and you get a case through 3 shipments in the first tier, 2 cases over 3 shipments in the second tier, 3 cases over 3 shipments in the third tier. And we actually just recently launched a social membership too. And so aside from your membership giving you wine discounts and wine access, we also do a ton of events. And so our social members, it's very, very low threshold to join. They have to buy like 3 bottles, and then they can opt into being a social member, and they get discounted access on tickets and early access to events and things like that. Because we really thought that the experience was just as important as, you know, your wine offerings here. So we definitely love throwing events, and we have a lot of them. And we thought that would probably be maybe not just as enticing as the wine, but certainly for some people. Yeah, for me, when I'm trying to pick a wine club or decide, like, should I join the wine club, I always think about the wine first, right? Like, do I enjoy this wine? Because if not, that makes no sense. Totally. But also, like, are kids welcome? Are dogs welcome? What are the hours? Is it an appointment only? Because a lot of times I'll randomly want to just take a client, and sometimes they're just out and about, and I'm like, actually,
do you want to go grab a glass of wine? Like,
Love that.
I'm a wine club member up here, and I'd love to host you and show you this. And so sometimes if it's appointment by only, that makes it hard to be like on a whim, you know, like, hey, let's go do this. But yeah, and then the fun events and stuff, like whether it's a wine club pickup party, because those tend to happen at a lot of places, but the in-between stuff, because like that only happens once a quarter. So it's like, well, what's going on this weekend? I'm at home doing nothing. I kind of want to pop by one of my second homes, which is my wine clubs.
Well, and I don't know exactly when your podcast is launching, but we do have a concert here this weekend.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So if you want to come back.
Yes. Yeah, we are right now, just for anyone listening, we are recording in July. This episode will be in September. But
so not this weekend.
I could do a follow-up and be like, and I was back for the concert. It's just me like jamming out. But yeah, no, I love that. Do you do live music a lot, or?
We just started it this summer. So we did a concert in June with Haley Johnson, who's
cool.
local.
Yeah.
And amazing. And then we have another originally Oregonian country duo, Cloverdale, coming in July. And then Michael Allen Harrison's band is coming in August. So I don't know that we'll do it throughout the year. I think weather just gets too tricky, and we do it outside.
Well, there's other events and things you can do, or like more like an intimate, like acoustic inside or something. Yes. Yeah, a little bit more low key. How has the transition for you been going from like the real estate industry to your role and being like a part owner and like marketing and doing all that stuff? Like, what has been your journey throughout that?
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, as a realtor, like you're always marketing yourself.
Oh yeah,
so,
for sure.
So that came kind of naturally for me, and you know, I'm kind of an open book anyway, so marketing totally fits me.
Yeah.
I think the bigger thing was when we closed on this property, I had my first child 5 days later.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
So
just juggling a few things.
Right.
No big deal.
Right. And so my whole world changed just kind of right at the same time, you know? And I kept my real estate license active and still did some transactions for, I don't know, maybe 3 more years after that. But it just felt like the right time. You know, my renewal was coming up.
Oh, sure. Do I want to pay all these fees if I'm not going to do it?
Right, right. And so I just had to deactivate it, and like huge weight off my shoulder. It was not where my passion laid as far as a career anymore. And I loved real estate. I thought it was so fun. But then my family did this, and there is literally nowhere else I would rather work than for our family business.
Well, yeah, and this is your view every day.
Well, I don't get to be out here every day.
But. I was like, when you're here. But yeah, I mean, I feel like who wouldn't make that choice? Especially if you love and enjoy working with your family.
And wine.
Well, yeah, that too. Because some people would be like, you couldn't pay me to work with my family.
Totally.
But
no,
I love that
lucky.
you guys have a really great dynamic and you all work really well together.
Yes.
Has that been a seamless process, or have you guys had to learn to like communicate a certain way or have team meetings like, okay, we're not family right now, we're colleagues?
It's totally been a learning process. Not so much in how best to communicate with each other, because we constantly cross the family line. Like we're never going to be the kind of people that like turn off family, turn on business, except maybe my dad. He'd probably like that actually if we were able to do that more.
He's like, can you stop with the feelings?
But it was more about like figuring out once we opened, like what lane we were all in, because before we opened, it was easy. Like we all give input on all the things. We were, you know, all doing it.
Yeah.
But once we opened, it was like, okay, we can't all be doing all the same things. Like we need to have...
You're in charge of this. You're working on this. Yeah.
So that was a little bit of a learning curve, but we got there. We figured it out.
Yeah. Talk a little bit about what we're drinking today.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
So you are drinking Aligote, which is the second most commonly grown white wine in Burgundy after Chardonnay, but is like rarely made.
And you can't find it in Oregon very often. There's only a handful.
There's like 10 in total in Oregon that you can get Aligote from.
Yeah, so good.
And it's delicious. I mean, it's super, this is not very winey of me, but it's super drinkable.
Yeah.
It's like crisp, dry, pear-y kind of undertones.
It still has a little bit of sweetness, so like, because some people are like, oh, I hate dry wine, and that's why they don't like Chardonnays or whatever.
Right.
I feel like this is a perfect blend of, it's not overly sweet, so if you're not like wanting a super like sugary,
right,
like, fruit forward wine.
Right, not like Riesling, not Pinot Gris
Yeah,
at
this is like
all.
right in the middle. It's perfect. Yeah. I love it.
It's it was our like second most sold wine the first year we were open. People just love it because it doesn't have like a very intense palate, which is great.
Yeah.
Because it makes it a lot more accessible for a lot of people.
Well, especially like if a seasoned wine drinker comes with a newbie, I bet most of the newbies are like, oh, dang,
Yep.
okay. Yeah, I can drink this. This is great. So
it was a bummer for our Chardonnay sales, but we love being able to offer something kind of different.
Yeah.
And I think I mentioned, so my rosé is a rosé of Gamay Noir. It's a little more fruit forward than a Pinot Noir rosé, but not overpowering, not like any kind of harsh taste at all. It's just like very smooth and refreshing and a little different. And then we make 3 levels of Pinot Noir. The top is our Heritage, this kind of cool bottle. Heritage 1850, same as our Club Lounge.
Yeah.
It's in honor of our family heritage here since
I love
1850.
That. Yeah.
And then we also make a still Pinot Meunier. Most of the time, if you have Pinot Meunier, it's going into sparkling wine. But it's really, really delicious and delicate as a still red wine.
Yeah.
And then, we also make a Sauvignon Blanc.
Oh, okay.
Which is fun and not super common in Oregon either. But because, so Sauvignon Blanc is grown on our property in like the deep southeast corner.
Okay.
And that's down for us, way down at the bottom of the hill, and it's very protected, so it gets nice warm down there, whereas the rest of our property is like much more typical Oregon climate. And so Sauvignon Blanc, year after year, is a little bit different here, and like here from Balsall Creek, I mean.
Yeah.
And we're really excited about it. People seem to really latch onto that one as well.
I like that you have a variety of different wines too. So I've talked about this with a few others and stuff. We are in Pinot Noir country.
Totally.
So a lot of times if you're visiting from out of the area and you're going wine tasting, you'll start to get Pinot blind because you'll taste so many Pinot Noirs everywhere.
Yeah.
And I stole that term from Becky Potter, by the way.
I love that, Pinot blind.
Yeah. She said that and I was like, oh, genius, trademark that, put on a t-shirt. Because that's so true, because like you are drinking Pinot after Pinot after Pinot.
Okay, but I still, with all the variety, like,
Pinot's the
mid-tier
best.
Pinot Noir is my favorite year after year.
Pinot is still, I just was in California and they kept trying to give me Pinot Noirs. And I was like, you're adorable. And I was like, give me the cab. I came here for cab.
Totally.
I get Pinot at home. But I love that you can mix it up too, and not everybody's a red wine drinker. So again, like if you're coming with a group of friends, the Pinot Noir drinker will be happy. And then somebody wants something a little light and fruity and crisp. And then you also have bubbles.
Right.
So like the whole thing, you have the whole spectrum, which is great.
And I'm glad you said that because I didn't mention it, but we regularly have 3 flights. So there's a mixed flight, which is very typical Oregon. It's like half Pinot Noir, half Chardonnay. Then we have an all red flight, so you get to try all the different ones. Oh, and we have a Gamay Noir that's not rosé as well. So that's just like
I love
a great Thanksgiving wine, right?
Yes.
Jammy, fruity.
Totally.
It's so
goes
good.
Great with turkey.
Yes.
100%.
Well, because you need a little more flavor with turkey.
Totally.
And then we have an all white flight, which was really important to my mom because she's a big white wine drinker. So that like really, really helped sell her on this property too. Not that there was a need to be sold on it, like everything about it we loved, but being able to offer different flight options to people has been super nice.
Well, and it is nice because like I'm somebody that takes a lot of people wine tasting that have like never been or like very rarely go, and so it's nice to like give them options too, or like, and I don't know if you've noticed this when people come in, like sometimes they're nervous, like I don't know, like what am I supposed to order, like
totally.
So like someone like me is guiding them, like, do you like white wines or red wine? Like, what do you drink when you're at home? And if you don't drink, what are you hoping to try? Like, let's figure this out. Speaking of, like, when you and your family were, like, collaborating, I just thought of this while you were talking about the wine. How did you come to the name of the winery, and then also wanting to do things like tie in heritage, like you guys being here since 1850 and things like that? Like, how did those conversations develop?
Yeah, so we always wanted it to be like a family first business. Like, my parents didn't want to do it if we weren't like totally sold in on it. So my brother works for the business full time. My husband works for the business part time. Like, it is a full family endeavor. But we didn't really want it to be in our family name necessarily. So when we were thinking of different options, we like looked back at our like Scandinavian roots, like is there a cool Nordic name, but ultimately landed on Balsall Creek because when my parents got into wine, like I was saying, when we were in the UK, we lived in a little town called Balsall Common, and we weren't just going to flat out name it after that, but there's a really lovely creek at the eastern side of our property, and so Balsall and Creek, it just that totally fit the need. And was there a second part of your question?
Well, and just like the marketing, like how you decided to like your labels and like all of that. Like, did you get an expert to help you, or were you guys like, we want to do like a BC, things like that?
No, none of us are overly creative on our own.
Yeah.
But we hired Sasquatch Agency, and we've worked with them since almost the very beginning. They designed our labels, our logo. We had some years before.
Totally, while everything was being built, all that stuff.
Oh, and then you asked about heritage specifically. And just like on that same vein, so my dad's great grandparents homesteaded from the Oregon Trail about 15 miles from here and farmed. And so when we ended up with this property, we were just like, oh my gosh, like what a cool tie-in. I love that you guys
even know that.
I know.
Like, is it documented? Like, did people like
yes,
hand you,
we're in like not Oregon Historical Society. There's a little museum though, maybe in Springfield, I want to say, that they're like on display. Their pictures are actually in the
Heritage
1850
room.
lounge.
That's cool. I love that.
And I just don't think you hear that many, especially nowadays, right? Everyone's a transplant in Portland.
Well, yeah,
so
definitely.
It's fun to be such an old family here.
Totally. Well, and it's neat that you have like documentation, that you were even aware of that, because some people might have had family here the whole time and they have no idea because like, history gets lost along the way kind of a thing. I love that. I mentioned that sometimes I bring like newbies wine tasting and stuff. What's kind of some advice that you would give someone that's going wine tasting for the first time, or like questions that they should ask when they're in the tasting room, or any kind of tips and tricks you would give?
Gosh, I don't know. Tips to someone that's new to wine tasting. I don't know. Just enjoy the experience, because not everyone is going to love wine. Not everyone's going to love everything that they try in a flight. Try to find a place that hands you a glass on your way in.
Yeah, those are the best.
Which we do.
Yeah.
Rosé, handed to you when you walk in.
Well, and part of the reason I wanted to do this podcast is I love wine. I love the agriculture behind it, winemaking, the business side of it. Just there's so many parts that go into it. But I wanted to showcase, I feel like a lot of people, like wine has a stigma of like, oh, the undernotes and the legs on this wine walk
like you
for
have
days.
To be well educated
and
enjoy
also
it or
just
something.
like, well versed. And I don't think a lot of people realize like how it's really like just visiting someone's like living room. Like so many of the wineries like this one are like very welcoming. They want you to enjoy yourself. They want you to relax. It's not like a test and no one's going to be rude to you. Like
our staff isn't going to come up and be like, so what'd you taste in that drink you just
Please
had?
Name 3 notes or get out. No, but I think people get overwhelmed like, I don't know if I want to go wine tasting. It's almost like when people go to the gym, they want to look a certain way before they go to the gym. I feel like they think they need to like know enough about wine before they go wine tasting. And I'm like, no, just jump in. It's totally fine. And actually you'll learn what you like, questions to ask, things like that once you go wine tasting a lot. So
you did mention something though. You said you were really interested in the agriculture, which got me thinking something that we haven't talked about that certainly isn't unique to us, but We have pretty extensive sustainability practices here.
Perfect.
So we're a live certified vineyard. We're salmon safe. We're bee friendly farming safe. We have bee boxes on the property. We're looking at getting more animal involvement over this next year. So like hiring out sheep and goats to manicure the property, and then hiring out birds too to like help with natural vermin
Predators,
reduction and such. And we have over 150 feet of solar panels that actually...
I was going to ask about that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Did you see them when you drove up? So there's about 150 feet in the parking lot.
And they have a charging station if you have an electric car.
We do, yeah. 2 charging ports. And then there's more solar panels on the shed on the other side of the property. And so we actually, what is the right term? We make more energy, send more energy back to the grid than we consume on our entire site.
Yeah, that's
which
amazing.
I think is really cool.
That is really cool. And I like that it doesn't take away from the ambiance. So like the solar panels and stuff, I like how you have them kind of in the parking area, but even in the parking area, it just looks cool. It doesn't look like
they're just blocking an, kind of ugly grass hill. So.
Yeah. Well, when I was like, oh, look at them. And then I saw the charging stations too. And I was like, well, that's nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. I love that because when you're out in wine country, there's not charging stations.
No,
everywhere.
there aren't.
Just FYI. So that's an awesome option that you offer. And why not let your car charge while you're enjoying a glass of wine?
Totally.
I mean, if anything, if you're just out in the country, stop by to charge up and get a glass of wine.
I mean, come on up.
What is one piece of advice that you would give somebody that's like looking to get into business for themselves?
Oh, like not wine related, just into business
in general.
For themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, be calculated in your choices, but don't be afraid of making mistakes,
Yeah.
And just be bold. And that's easier said than done. But
Definitely.
like I said earlier, like I'm kind of an open book. Like I'm not afraid of making mistakes. I mean, big ones, sure, but I just kind of put it all out there. I give things my all, and
you're also not afraid to like ask questions.
Not at
or
all.
Seek guidance.
Embarrassingly, to most people in my life, they're like, "Oh my gosh, stop asking so many questions."
That's funny,
but I think just be bold, be confident in your choice, and go for it.
Well, and I think that's important in any business creation is like understanding you're not going to know everything.
Yeah.
And you can seek guidance from people not in your industry. Like you had Sasquatch, helping you with marketing. You had Northwest helping you with the vineyards and things like that. Like you've had other people help putting input into your business, but that doesn't mean like you guys are bad business owners.
No,
if anything,
not at all.
It means you're great business owners.
Agreed.
Because you're sourcing and leveraging other people's genius to help you.
Nothing is worse than like pretending to be an expert in your field.
Oh my gosh.
That's not going to serve you well.
No, it might work for a minute until it doesn't. And when it doesn't, it's a big fall.
Well, and not to speak poorly on anyone or real estate at all, but there are people that
for sure
totally think that they're
I'm
not going to ask a question because I obviously know
or
the
I've
answer.
had people tell me like, oh, I'm going to work with so and so because they specialize in, let's say, senior living, like seniors downsizing, and I go, oh, they do. How did they get a specialty in that? Because I want to know, because there are actual ways you can specialize in something.
Sure.
But then some people will have done 2 transactions, let's say where a senior was downsizing and now they specialize in senior living. And you're like, no, you don't specialize in it. You just happen to have experience in it. There's like 2 totally different things. And any business is that way too. Like you can specialize in it where you actually have credentials in it, and then you can specialize in it because you did the hands-on work kind of a thing. But I agree with you. Like, just be honest too with like where you're at. And
I've never had a hard time being the one to say, oh, I'm actually not sure, but I can find that out for you.
Yeah, I've never sold a vineyard before. One moment, please. Let me consult someone. Thank you. I appreciate you so much for having us here at your beautiful tasting room. Again, if you're listening, make sure you check out the YouTube so you can see it for yourself. It's gorgeous. Or come actually see it for yourself if you're in the area.
Please do.
Yes. Thank you, Emily. Cheers to you and your family. And thank you, everyone, for listening. Catch you next time. Cheers.
Cheers.